All right, Selena. Selena, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Riverside, California, but I was born in San Bernardino. And then till I was 15, going on 16, till I was 18, I was in Utah. I lived in Utah for therapy.
Tell me about your family. You had both your parents when you were a kid?
I'm adopted. I've been in, when I was born, they put me in the system because my mom was doing meth. So like they already knew like when I was born, I'm going straight there. When I was around 1.5, going on 2, my mom adopted me and she raised me.
So you were raised by adopted parents?
Yeah. My mom was running like a foster care system and she only like was able to keep 4 of us. And she already had 4 of her own. So it was like 8 of us together.
Oh, wow. How would you describe your childhood?
It was like, it wasn't bad, but there was like skeletons in the closet. Things that I was going through, but I wasn't allowed to go to school and tell, or when the social worker would come, I wasn't allowed to say anything. What happens in this house stays in this house. And
What kind of stuff?
A lot of like sexual abuse and physical abuse. You know, I had nieces and nephews and I didn't want to see them or see them being taken away from my sister, so I didn't say anything. I wouldn't say anything.
Did your adoptive mom know?
It was pretty much something that was happening behind closed doors as well. And I came to her already touched, so, you know, my birth grandparents had me for a little bit and they were molesting me. And so she had to deal with that with me. And my brother being touched when he was little.
But your adopted mom didn't step in and protect you? Or?
She did. Well, she felt like sending me to therapy and like mental hospitals and getting me on antidepressants and stuff was what was helping me. And she sent me to Utah and I spent I spent my 16th birthday in Utah and in a wilderness ascent program. I was out there for 5 months and then they transferred me to a boarding school and I spent the rest of my birthdays there. And I don't know, I kind of like got mad and I felt abandoned, like almost forgotten about because they didn't send me anything. They wouldn't send me stuff that I would need for boarding school and I pretty much got hand-me-downs. And when I was 18, I just signed myself out. She was upset with me, so she didn't let me stay with her. That's how I came to LA, because she was upset with the fact that I didn't finish the program. When I was 18, I just jumped and they got me a flight to Long Beach, and I came to Long Beach, came straight out here. And she said, you know, you've been gone this long, we don't know who you are anymore. And it's gonna take a lot for us to learn you, and, you know, we're not ready for us to, they pretty much like wasn't ready to deal with the new me. And yeah.
So you came to LA, and is that when your work as a prostitute started?
I had a boyfriend that I was talking to when I got out, that I was talking to before I went in, and he pretty much took me under his wing for like a couple months. I got into it with him and we were staying in Compton, and you know, we were towards Long Beach Boulevard, and at the time I didn't know what Long Beach Boulevard or what any blade was. I didn't know what this game was about. And, you know, me and him got into it and I was in my pajamas, but my pajamas was more like lingerie type. He threw me out the house. I was like, bitch, if you think you gonna come in here and just whoop-de-whoop, pretty much go out there and go figure it out. You know, when you're ready to get your shit together, you can come back type shit. And I was crying. I was calling my mom and she told me that I couldn't come back to go to a homeless shelter because she couldn't get me, and that, you know, my sister still didn't forgive me for what was happening before I got sent away. And this dude with like chains pull up on me. He was like, what's up, little mama, why are you crying? He was like, you're too pretty to cry. He was like, why are you crying? And I just said, look, can I please use your phone? He was like, What happened to yours? And I had one, but it was turned off. He had turned my phone off. It was like an Obama type phone. And he cut the line off, and I got in the car with him. And he just like was like, do you drink? No. Do you smoke? No. And he said, okay, well, where are you from? And I pretty much told him like what happened. And I cut it down to bits and pieces, not really like going into it. And I guess it kind of gave him the idea like, okay, she's out here alone. Nobody knows her. Nobody gives a fuck about her. And we talked a little bit, and he said, well, you know, I get money. And I said, well, yeah. He said, so what do you plan on doing with yourself? Like, you know, you were living with your boyfriend. I know that's not doing nothing. I know he got kids. And he pretty much like bashed him for being square, like, and bashed me for laying up and giving my time or my worth to the square that just threw me out to the wolves, pretty much. He said, you know, you can't just get in anybody's car. But in the midst of that, he was hitting powder. Like, he was hitting powder. And I don't know, something in him snapped because I asked him to drop me back off. He was like, you just got in my car. You ain't got no money or nothing. Like, he said, you can't make it up. He said, you can't make it up by giving me some sex or something. And I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, some head, something. Like, you ain't got no dough. He was like, you got to give me something. And I tried to play it off and try to just jump out the car. And he knew I was trying to get out the car because as soon as I opened the door, he pulled my hair back, socked me in the face. He was like, okay, I'm gonna show you what playing with pimping does. And I was like, pimping? And so he had me by my hair, threw my phone out the window, and he pretty much was playing Sugar Free in the background. And I didn't know at the time who Sugar Free was, but he was spinning all this game. And he was telling me, I'm gonna bring you to this Blade bitch. You're not allowed to talk to no black dudes, no black niggas. He said, unless they trying to offer money, you can't date them. He pretty much told me what staying in pocket was. And, you know, from there to him bringing me to Pomona, that was the first Blade I got down on and actually started working and caught my first date. And survival mode, I'd even pay him pretty much. My first date, I used that money to ask someone else to bring me back to LA. And I got to LA, and when the dude that helped me was bringing me back to LA, he let me use his phone. And I was using the phone, and I was talking to someone that had just got out of jail. I told him everything that the dude told me in the car. And I said, look, I need money. I just need to get somewhere, like, far away from here, back home. I don't care. I wasn't going to do it. And I don't know. The money started coming in quicker that night when I got down on Fig. And I liked it. I liked the adrenaline. I liked that. I didn't like how it happened, but the dude that was talking to me, he said, you can't be out here weak. He said, you know, that you pray out here. You gotta put your chin up type shit. He was telling me, like, you know, do all that shit when you get the money and you able to go sit in a nice tub or go get yourself a bath water and just sit in there and cry and feel the way you want to feel right now. He said, but right now, life is going on. Life is moving past you while you sitting here crying about what this nigga did. He said, if he out here doing that to girls, he's going to be out here again. And that he was going to be touched and found. And I don't know, he made me feel like I wasn't going to be scared working out there, like he wasn't going to find me again. And I don't know, just started doing it for a while. And I was traveling from different cities and learning the different tracks, and that's how I was just getting my money.
But the money you would give to him?
Yeah. I wouldn't tuck. I wouldn't save anything. At first, I told him that my mom was sick and that it was for that. And it kind of like, I kind of lost focus in why I was out there because the money was so good. I started to get greedy, and I was, letting him get me this and spend it on, expensive rooms that we were trapping in. And
Was your mom actually sick?
yeah, she was sick at the time, but she kept making me feel like she didn't need my money, she didn't want it type shit. Like she'd, keep it. Whenever I would try and offer it to her, at first when I got out of treatment, it was my mom that was kind of upset that I signed myself out. But when I had tried to get back in touch with my mom, she was in a group home, for sick older people. And my sisters would refuse to tell me where my mom was. So I wasn't really out there, knowing where she was. I just knew I was going to get the money, and I was going to either take off with how much he was saving, or I was just going to start tucking, because I was like, okay, now I'm starting to get sidetracked. Like, I'm starting to just do this, and like, you getting too fly now. Like, you're getting too much out of this now, and I need to get back in touch with my mom. Because when I was in a relationship with the dude in Compton, I was still in touch with her, and I was talking to her. And then that was the last time I called her before I found out that my sisters were keeping her somewhere in a seniority home because they didn't want to take care of her. Well, that's how I felt. That's how my mom felt. And I don't know. It got too fun, and I got too sidetracked, and I started to see, I started to put myself in my mom's shoes and was like, well, how would I feel if Utu was? So I left, and he made me feel that there was a game god. And so, when you leave, a bunch of bad shit happens to you. And I felt like that because I was homeless. I didn't have anywhere to go. I was sleeping in my friend's car. I didn't know how to get the money and get down without feeling like somebody was going to do something, because I didn't know anyone to call and ask to come help me. I was robbed my first time for carrying too much money on me. So I didn't have a place to pretty much put my money in and feel like, okay, I know what I'm going to do with it. I know where I'm going to put it. Woo. Was already talking to someone else. And that's when I met the dude that kind of was pimping me here and there, but was my boyfriend type. Well, that's what they call a boyfriend pimp. And he helped me find my mom. And I found my mom around Christmas time, last year. Around Christmas time last year, I was popping up. I just went to pop up to go see her. And I don't know. She looked like she was dying. And I was sad, and something snapped at me. And I told him, look, my mom said that she's going to help us out with getting in a car so I could come out here and help her. Now the goal, this is why I feel like he was starting to keep me behind closed doors and not wanting me out there, because my mom kept saying that she didn't have enough money to pay for a nurse to come take care of her, but that she wanted me to come take care of her. And I said, well, Mom, would you let me come back home if I take care of you? I stay home with you every day, and I, change your diaper, and I read you books, and, I'm here with you. And she said, yeah, but, you got to get along with the rest of the family, because, our family, you can't just come in and just think that everything's going to bounce back the way it was. And it was understandable. I had a lot of bridges that I burnt with them, and I had to make up for it, and I wasn't ready, because I felt now I was sleeping around with too many men. I was giving myself away. They were going to be even more disgusted with me. So I kept saying, okay, Mom, well, let me get the money and let me at least get a car first. And she kept saying, well, Lena, do you have a bank account? And do you have this? And I can give you money. You have a check coming in. And I said, a check coming in? What do you mean? She said, I want to give it to you. She said, but you're going to give it to, she already knew I was going to give it to the person I was with. And she said it was a couple months that it was coming in. And so during those months, I'm telling him, look, I'm going to have this much. He said, okay, well, until that much comes in, I need you to trap hard. I need you to go all in. I need you to get the money. And in this And in the midst of this, I said, okay, if I go out there, you think you can take me to go get certain stuff for my mom? And I go visit her, and I was visiting my mom, and, you know, I started getting back into a relationship with her, and it was just me and my mom because she was in the seniority home. That was my main focus. Money, get whatever my mom wants, and just take me to go see her. He started using that to like his advantage until she gave me the check. And when the check came, like that was like when her eyes started to turn like kind of like grayish color, and her hair was, you know, thinner. She already knew that I was being abused and stuff, because there were certain times I would call her and like tell her, look, can you just please let me come back home? Please, please let me come back home. She always felt like it was up to my sisters and my brothers if I was able to come home. And so my folks seen that, and it kind of made him mad. He was like, why can't you have a relationship with them? And it kind of like made him hate my family, even though he wasn't in my family. And he said, like, your mom doesn't do anything to help you or defend you. Like, why should you have to give her anything out of that check? I've been taking care of you this whole time. I'm the one that was taking you to go see her for Wooty Woo. And I got mad, like, I don't owe you anything. Like, I'm making money, and now that this money coming in, and it's around like April, May.
It sounds like he's brainwashing you.
Yeah, he was using the guilt of me, like, telling him I want to go see my mom. He would make me feel like I'm asking him for too much, because, you know, it's all the way in Riverside. And then traffic during the day, like, he just made me feel like walking on eggshells all the time, like a ticking bomb. But I was too scared to go anywhere else because, you know, he wasn't keeping me out at night. Like, he wouldn't make me go out at night like most pimps would. He kind of like introduced me to his mom, and like we were living with her for a little bit. And this is when my mom was like lost touch with me, and I was losing phones, and I was getting phones and I was losing phones because there was dates that I would catch that they either tried to kidnap me or rob me, and they've had to take my phone, or I've had to like run and I've dropped it. Like, either way, like my mom was she was getting numbers from me, and like it was not the same number, and she would say, I called that number, I texted it, and, you know, I would worry about you, and why do you keep changing your phones, Lena? Like, you just need to stick to one number. And it didn't take him until that $17,000 check he started getting money for him to give me an iPhone. And, you know, I started getting different money, and my mom died on me. She passed away like August 9th, and my birthday is August 14th. She got coded on the 7th of August, and I felt like my sisters and them were playing with me because they said, oh, they brought mommy back to life. Like, okay, she's gonna be okay. She's just under like a breathing machine. They said that she's on a breathing machine, and there's a certain medicine that's what's keeping her alive. And I asked if I could see her, and they said, no, you can't see her, coronavirus, you know, we got to pull the plug. And I said, you don't have to pull the plug. Like, there's a decision. Like, you know, I know it is, because my little sister was always telling me the truth behind things, because they would leave me in the clue, like, they would leave me in the blue, like, guessing. And my little sister would hit me up, and she said, Lena, you know, mommy's going to call around 10 o'clock on Google Duo, FaceTime. She said, FaceTime me. Daddy wants them to pull the plug. And, you know, I'm asking him, like, can you take me to Riverside, please? Like, my mom's in ICU. Like, I need to go say goodbye to her. And he was like, man, all right, you know, I don't know why all of a sudden you're trying to ask me to go now, knowing there's traffic. Then what? You say goodbye, you gonna make me feel bad because we don't get out there in enough time, bitch, or what? And I said, no, just take me out there so I at least know that I made it out there, like, and I tried. And so in the midst of that, I'm smoking, and I'm just getting prepared for it, because it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel real. You know, that car ride, I had to say goodbye. There's a certain point, he was disrespecting me, he was being rude. He was like, pass me that torch. passed me the scissors to cut the blunt, and I'm on the phone, and like I'm muting it, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like wanting to cry, like, don't you see my mom like sick on the phone? And like I'm showing my sick mom like on the phone. And he was like, man, get the fuck out of my face with that all that shit. I don't give a fuck about all that. He was like, man, he said, you gonna piss me off, because then he was like, you know what's up. He said, your family's on the phone. I'm not gonna say what's up. And that we hit a certain traffic on the freeway where it kind of slowed down. And you know, everybody in my family's saying goodbye. So it's like, oh, my sister, it's about to be me. It's about to be my turn. I hopped out the car and I started running. And I get away from traffic, and I, you know, said my goodbye to my mom. Started apologizing to her. And he tricked me and went behind my back, and that's why my mom stopped talking to me about the money, because he had sent her a stack of money and was like, we won't be needing you. And
He sent who a stack of money?
he sent my mom, he texted her a picture and was like, she won't be needing you anymore. You know, like, you guys abandoned her and left her, and now I got to deal with her. Like,
he sent her a picture of money.
Yeah, like, now I got to bring her and build her back up from what you and her disgusting ass birth parents did. Like, you guys damaged her, and now I got to pretty much, he made it sound like they was horrible people. And I don't know. It kind of like broke something in me, but I was scared to cry. I wasn't allowed to cry around him like that. So with that money, we went to go to Vegas, and he gets this whole penthouse in Vegas for my birthday and his birthday, because his birthday's a couple days after. And, you know, he was like, you think your mom would want you going out sad, and you think your mom would be here wanting you to be sad type shit. Like, I got all this stuff and woo for your birthday. Like, you gotta be grateful. And I don't know. That from August to November, well, going into December of last year, I started working again, but my best friend died on me. And he was getting his money, but I was getting my own money. So it was pretty much like, I don't need you, but my mom, you know, my mom's gonna look out for you type shit. Like, you could stay around, you could be around, but like, I don't need your money. Like, keep it. And I was like, now all of a sudden you gonna let me keep my money? Now all of a sudden that I was doing it for something, and I feel like now it's just, I'm stuck with you. Like, I felt stuck. And my best friend came to visit me before my mom's funeral, and she told me, like, you know, I see you doing much more. And she was like, I look up to you, Selena. She was like, you're really my best friend. And I was like, thank you, Athena. And she was like, no, it's okay to cry. And I said, I don't want to cry, though. And she said, but it's okay to. She said, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to make you feel bad. And I don't know, it's just so genuine, like, because Athena was always around me and my mom when we were younger. I met her. We've been since the sandbox. We were together since the sandbox. And I'm in Vegas again. He takes me to go to Vegas, but he goes to Vegas because he has something to pick up that he left out there from the last trip. And he wanted to take me, and I asked him, like, no, I don't want to go, you know, because I was still dealing with after my mom's funeral, and knowing that my family didn't put me in the obituary. They didn't let me come and bury her casket. Like, they didn't tell me where her burial was until the morning of. And like, they did stuff out of pettiness, like out of spite, but it was never like behind me. They didn't know that it was his fault. And yeah, that's something that I'm still dealing with, is wanting to just get my family back. Well, not like, it'll never be back the way it was, but an understanding. Sorry. My bad. Thank you.
So are you still working today?
somewhat.
But you have somebody you're giving your money to, or?
No. I've been like just spending it on rooms and like shit that I would need to go throughout the day, but I'm not really trying to make myself seem out there in the streets because, you know, there are certain people that are mad at me or that are looking for me and that want something to do with me based on times that I was down, and they they didn't like that I was either Mexican or, you know, they felt I was a minor.
Yeah, you look young, but you're actually 20?
Yeah, 20 years old.
Is it hard to be a renegade?
A renegade? Well, yeah, because, you know, it's not like a respectable thing in the game. You know, renegades
according
are...
to who?
According to people in the game.
Yeah, the Pimps.
Like, you're a target. If you're a renegade, you're a target. Like, you're a free check. They'll wait for you, you know, they'll wait for you to collect them out. So they'll do something grimy, or, you know, you're just not respected because you don't have a man that's bossed up and looking to invest in you and put you in a position to win. And, you know, I feel like...
It sounds like a lot of brainwashing to me.
Yeah, I feel like I've wasted a lot of time trying to let somebody put me in a position to win, when the whole time I've just wanted to get right with my mom. And, you know, I was able to say goodbye to Athena when I was in Vegas, but on the way back to LA, we had stopped to go to sleep, and I don't know, sheriffs came and we had stuff in the car that got us in trouble, and I went to jail. But her mom had texted me, like, did you hear what happened? I said, no. She said, Athena's brain dead. I said, brain dead? What's brain dead? I look it up, and she's typing, and I could tell, like, she's typing and then she'll delete it, type it, delete it. And then it said, she's in Riverside Community Hospital ICU. She overdosed. And, like, I don't know, something in me, like, snapped. It like, she overdosed off a Percocet that she crushed and sniffed one line out of. And I was thinking, because I was doing Percocets at the time, like, why wasn't it me? Like, why her, what, not me, you know? Like, I fell out with my mom. I'm out here doing stupid shit. I'm out here settling for something that I feel is my worth, like materialistic stuff that I was getting from the person I was dealing with, and then giving my money away. So I felt like I just pretty much was just trying to find, like, where I belong, my spot, and I would have to pay my worth, or my worth, I have to lower it for them to accept me, or for me to be accepted. And, you know, I was like, why her, not me? She was getting her shit together. She was barely starting. And she said that I was able to come say goodbye to her, but I went to jail. I ended up going to jail, and I wasn't able to say goodbye to her. I was only able to go to her candlelight visual, and I asked, again, he had to take me. I had to rely on him to take me, and I don't know. He doesn't do death very well. He's never been, he doesn't go to funerals, so he feels like the way he deals with death is the way I'm supposed to deal with death. And so I missed out on her funeral, and I only went to her candle visual, but I don't know. I feel like something in me is being pulled out of this. You know, there's different levels to it. Once you get into it, you know, there's different parts of this game that you play, and there's different areas and states of this game that you play, and, you know, they call it levels and elevating. But when you've been through so much in a little bit amount of time, it's like, why would I even waste a month or a couple weeks trying to work with a pimp, or invest in pay a pimp for his time, for his worth? They say game is to be sold, not told. Okay, well, what am I learning that's gonna, you know, what type of investments are you teaching me that's gonna get me to learn how to be in real estate, or learn how to, or what techniques are you teaching me to put me in a position to write a book, or to actually do something that I want to do before I entered this.
Or
It's like
invest your money.
invest my money in, like, it's like people, and it's sad, but it's not sad because
Did you end up getting any money out of the relationships you've had?
no.
What'd you get when you parted ways? What did you get?
It's not like you leave and it's like a retirement fund. It's like you come in with nothing, you leave with nothing. And if you choose to mess with that person and, be down for them in their crown, then that's where all the little materialistic shit and, you have a place to stay in the mansion or in the house that they have and, But pimps, they always start off with a girlfriend or someone that they feel should be the rest of their life within the game because they started it off with. And that's how motherfuckers were trying to blame me with, okay, you my bottom bitch, you my this, so you gonna be my top tier $1 million bitch, you gonna bring in all this money and you gonna do a woo. And it sound good, it look good, but it's like, what are you really getting? Like, it's a mental thing. You have to be mentally okay to go out there. It's the energy you carry. And I don't know. In the midst of that, I was being choked out one day and then slapped up the next and then thrown in the tub and beat in the tub because he said that I would be like out-of-pocket faggot, or I was a faggot. Because when he started to keep me inside and I felt like I wasn't, I don't have a job to go to, but I don't have school to go to, and he was going to make his own money, I would ask him, like, can I go get down? Because I felt like, I wanted to get out the house. But I don't have nowhere to go kick it at. I don't have a car to drive and go to the beach and smoke. The blade is right there. Can I just go get some money? Can I go do something? And I don't know. I would want to ask him to put me down because I didn't like being inside the house all the time, and I would take E-pills. And I was heavy off the E-pills until it started making me lose a lot of weight, and I don't know. I started to feel like a smoker because, they put crystal in that. They put, like, meth in there to fill the rest of the pill up. And then when he started beating me and, like, putting, like, actual fractures and I broke ribs and, actual pain outside, like the skin and internal pain that I felt after. And he would say, oh, what do you need it for now? Because my chest hurting, and just talking to me, I had to go to the hospital plenty of times because he broke my ribs. I felt like he gave me a concussion one time. He started giving me perk 30s. Because when he was giving me a crumb of it, I was throwing it up. So he tried to, like, make me sniff it, and I don't know. It was taking away the pain. And I was dealing with my mom's death. Then I had this on my arm. And he got mad at me, like, bitch, you think your mom would want you to be, like, why would you want to fucking kill yourself? Like, now I'm left to deal with it because your mom's not here no more. And, and I promised your mom that I would take care of you. And that's what he said. And I don't know. That was kind of like my gateway to where people call me, like, a smoker bitch, or that's why a lot of people out there don't respect me, or they say that they call me a faggot bitch or a faggot hoe, and they don't like me because I be taking the perk 30s and wanting to get money but don't have no one to give my money to. I can't just trust anybody now. And it's like I'm at a step in my life where if I go out, go get the money, what am I going to invest the money into? Or if I go out, go get the money, what if they find and spot me out there? And I don't know what I'm supposed to do right now because I'm not trying to go to different pimps and, they put me back down on square one, or they take me to out of state or out of city, and I don't have a support system, and I don't have somebody to call and send me money, or I don't have a cash app for somebody to cash at me or send me a Greyhound ticket anywhere or a plane ticket. Like, it's like you feel stuck, or you feel like you have to run back to the person that you were giving your money and time to because they already knew what was going on with you and they know how to take care of you, or at least they know how to, like, shut you up. And, you know, there's missing pieces in the back that I've had to deal with in being the game that I would feel guilty for now if I speak on it, because, I don't know, that one would lead to like a different, you know, everything leads to like a different topic, story, why this happened, and right now I'm at a point where I'm just ready to heal and deal with the trauma that I went through in the streets and with the tricks, and then with what domestic violence I went through with him and with other things that were going on with outside with, again, tricks. And then along with, you know, losing my mom and best friend, like, it's like every day life goes by so fast when you're in this game. It's like you're in survival mode. You don't have time to just sit and think about the person you just lost. So just talking about it, it's like, damn, I'm not ready to sit and actually deal with that. So if I gotta go out there and catch dates to make things, you know, distract me or keep me occupied and busy, like, I feel the need to do that. Or if I stop, like, taking these, like, perk 30s, or, you know, a lot of the fake ones are going around now, so it's pretty much fentanyl. You're pretty much sniffing fentanyl. It's the worst drug, second drug to heroin, that you, like, the worst drug you can get addicted to, so it's hard even just getting off that, because it's like the pain that I deal with physically. I don't like pain. I don't like physical pain. And yeah.
But you're lucky. You're 20 years old and you have no kids, right?
No kids. I want kids.
Yeah, but you're young and you're free to leave now. You could get out of this line of work if you wanted to.
Yeah. And do it without having to feel like guilty or feel like I'm being held back, or that I have to do it, that I have to stop. And, you know, people say, like, you in it to get out of it. And it's like, exactly, but if I'm in it and I'm spending, you know, I think about it too, like, how much money would I have now if I really stopped and calculated and estimated how much I handed over to these pimps? I would, like, be on, like, I wouldn't have to be out here.
How much money do you think you've made for them?
I would make at least, like, if I was stacked up now from 2 years ago, that'd be like at least 50, 60 bands, 60,000. To me, that's a lot. That's to start off with something. And, you know, I feel like one door can be open to many other doors. And if I was to save that money and invest it, it's, you know, either go back to school and figure out what I need to do. Because in boarding school, when I turned 18, I signed myself out. I never finished school. Never went and got a GED or finished college or anything. I just got a job, that little square job at the warehouse with the boyfriend I was with, and then just a game. Just coming out here on the blades. And yeah.
Do you feel like you have any friends in your life? Anyone you can trust?
I have one friend named Peyton, but she's a square, like, she does her own thing, and I don't really feel like putting the burden on her. But there's times where she's gotten me a room, or she's put food in my stomach and clothes on my back because she's seen that I was stuck stranded somewhere, or beat up somewhere and left on the side of the freeway, and I was calling her to come help me or come pick me up. She reaches out to me now, but I don't know. I haven't really felt the need to want friends, or I feel like I don't have the strength or the energy right now to, you know, be around someone and actually be a normal person, because there's so much stuff that I want to get out and get off my chest.
Do you feel like the years that you've done this kind of work has kind of broken you And it's hard for you to get out now? It's like you feel like you're stuck.
Like, a lot of the girls that are out here like being out here because the childhood that they were raised in. I wasn't raised into this lifestyle. So it took a lot of me to get comfortable in it. And then now it's taken a lot of me to get out of it in a way that I think about how I've thought about the game and how I actually was looking at it, like respecting it or tried to respect whatever it was that I was being told and how to look at it. And then I just think about how my mom raised me and the spiritual woman she was and how she would sing to me, you know, certain gospel songs, and I had to like stop and listen to it and think about it. And I just it's something like on a personal level with him and with my mom that I lost, that I feel like if I get out this, I have to face the fact that I really don't have a mom anymore.
It sounds to me as an outsider that you're ripe for being picked up again by another guy. And then you'll be back in the same situation again.
Yeah. And, you know, my family worries for me to where, like, my sister even asked to put me on life insurance. And, you know, although sister cries through me sometimes about how she's scared that I'm just gonna be left in the back streets, raped, butt naked and dead. There's times where I felt like that was gonna happen. That's where I started to get angry, because these pimps aren't on these dates with us. They don't get in the car with us when you don't know if somebody's gonna easily inject you with some horse tranquilizer and rape drug, and they call it a date rape drug, and except for it's not the hoe taking the trick money, is the trick taking not just the money but taking like a piece of you. They're nasty. Like, some people that go out there look for more than sex. They look for torture because they get aroused out of torture, or they get aroused out of having that power, feeling that power of a girl asking us, stop, let me go, get out, like, get off me. People are sick, and I got mad. Like, you're not back there risking your life. You guys, nice cars, you know, like, what are we paying you for? What are we paying you for? Because the little game that you tell us that we need is the little game that could get us killed and left somewhere where we don't want to be. There's some people that got rich off this and don't have to come back to this. And there's some people that like just being out here. I feel like that's where their spirit is type. And that's where their soul is, like, attached to their pimp and attached to the game. And people actually really like believe in a game God. And, you know, I believe in one God. And that's the same God that I feel like I need to get right with when I feel stuck. Because, you know, I don't have a mom. And that's who was there for everything. Like, when I got out of treatment, even though she wasn't able to come and visit me physically, just to hear her voice, or just to hear that comfort of knowing that she still loved me behind no matter what I did, because my family was they're so good at holding grudges. Like, they don't know how to forgive or let stuff go. Like, they'll hold on to it. So it would be hard for me to go back home and have to hear and deal with the guilt and not hear my mom's comfort to the closure of that, saying, I forgive you. You know, you gotta forgive yourself type shit.
Do you feel like you've mourned your mom's death?
Just talking about it now, just like crying about it now is kind of like making me feel it, because the only time I cried about her death is when I seen her in her casket. She looked like she was smiling, like peaceful. Like I know she was suffering. And dealing with thank you. Dealing with a lot of physical pain, and I know she was worried about me sitting in that bed the majority of the times, and yeah. My little sister, I heard from my little sister because she just turned 18 in February. Like, she's like, Lena, like, mommy can't even see me have kids or have a family. And, like, that touched me, too, because it's true. Like, I right when I want to get my life together and have proof to someone that I did it, that was the person I wanted to prove to, was my mom. And now I feel like I don't have nothing left to, or no one left to live for, or like to do something that's gonna show that I've actually did it. Like, I fought through it, and I dealt with the pain that not only came with the trauma and the physical trauma, like either to my body, I'll flinch if someone reaches in for a hug, or like certain chicks will think that I'm trying to either hurt them or set them up, because I'll have like pepper spray under my leg and like a pocket knife right here, and like, they'll look at me, and like it's like you can never be too careful. And I don't want to feel like that anymore. I don't want to feel like I always have to look over my shoulder, or, you know, like I have to pray every day that I don't come out here and I die. And like I feel like, God, if I do something, like, please just don't let me die out here. I want to make things right before I get out. And I don't know. I just want to forgive the people in the game that not brought me in it, because it's like, I feel like it's what's going to build me. But forgive, like, what they started to input in my head to make me feel like I'm less than of a person, and because I'm not a hoe, I'm not good enough. Or because I'm not paying a pimp, I'm not good enough. Or I shouldn't be out there and I just need to be slit cut.
Do you feel like they've kind of changed the way you think about yourself and see yourself?
That they've changed it, or that they're going?
I mean, it sounds like you have a very negative self-image now. And it seems like you've been brainwashed to believe that you have to do this to be okay.
A lot of people, even in the game that see me, say that, like, your confidence used to be, like, up there. You know, I really used to be, like, self-confident. I used to have self-love, like, not just for my appearance, but for how I carried myself, and, you know, my goals, and what I was coming in the game to get out of the game to do. And I've even been told by people that I know when I first started this, like, even if you don't do this anymore, don't go back to that pimp. Like, don't go back to a certain situation, because we're like, I'm afraid you're gonna die, or, you know, you're gonna wake up in a hospital bed, and we're gonna be getting phone calls that either we only have a certain amount of days to say goodbye to you, or I'm just not gonna be able to say goodbye at all. And that's when I was doing the fake perk 30s, and, you know, getting, like, physically abused by the person I was staying with, and then just having to deal with my mom, and the fact that she was mad at me, and I'm not ready to face what I would call the outside world from what's inside the game. Inside the game, I feel like I know how to get around it. I know how to at least just numb it. But now at this point, with me sitting here and just talking about it, it feels like now I have to deal and face like so much more, and I don't have my mom's support. Like, that's the only person that I've wanted to be accepted and loved and forgiven by. She's not here.
But I think facing it is the only way out. Because if you don't face that pain, you're going to end up using more of the drugs and eventually getting back into a situation where your money and mind are being controlled again. Do you see that?
Yeah, and my sister even says like, you can come back home, but like, we need you to go to like a rehab and get clean, or at least get some kind of help from all the stuff that you've been through since you've been in the streets. And that's the stuff that I'm not ready for, because I've already spent 4 years in treatment, and those were the worst moments, because I was away from my family and away from being able to do what I want or hang out with who I want. Like, I felt locked down and stuck. And the pills that they were giving me for my depression or to sleep, those just numbed my feelings. Like, I wouldn't really cry, and they made me sleepy, or if I wasn't sleeping, then I was just dealing with the therapy schedule I had going for the wilderness program, or whatever the staff would tell me to do, until I was able to meet with my therapist, and therapy sessions would be family sessions. So it was never like, I don't know, I always felt like I was being controlled by someone. And I don't like feeling feeling controlled. I don't like feeling controlled. But I also I don't know how to deal with the pain or feel and know how to be alone. So I'm like stuck in between. And because I want to go home. I want to be okay with my family. I want to be able to have somewhere to go for holidays, or to call and, just be accepted by them again. And they want me to get help. My sister said, like, Lena, when you first started doing this, she said, I don't see that bright light that you see in yourself anymore. And I said, what? I got mad at her. She said, do you even sing anymore? Do you write? Do you write poetry? Do you keep track of your dreams like you used to? And she just reminded me of all the things I used to do when I was home or when I was going to school that kept me distracted or kept me, feeling like at peace with myself and with family and what they would call normal. Like, I felt normal. And it's like nothing against the girls that, feel this is their life or feel that chose them. But I feel like something else is reaching and trying to choose me or save me from and protect me from. I don't know.
Is going back to your family an option for you right now?
Not right now. My sisters and them are still mad at me because they invited me. My mom's birthday was January 26th, and I went MIA. I even left the situation I was in that day. I haven't been back since, and she invited me on February 14th to a Valentine's dinner, and I didn't go. And it's not because I don't want it. It's not being reached out to me. It's because I know what comes with it. If I go, and the tension is there, the guilt that I left, and the bridges that I burnt. I feel it. We can go and have a family dinner and do things, and it could feel good, but just the tension and the things that I feel when I'm around them, knowing that I hurt them so much. Like, I don't like it. It pushes me away. Like, I start to feel disgusted with myself. Yeah.
You're in a jam.
Yeah.
It's a tough situation you're in.
Yeah.
And the world you're living in down on Figueroa Street is so dangerous.
It is. And as much as people make it sound and look good, it's a lot of things that come with it. It's a lot of things that you have to prep yourself for, and you know, that's why a lot of people get into drugs, because they don't feel as disgusted with themselves or feel like what they're doing is wrong, and they're going out there and they're good. They're high. That's all they want is a high.
So what do you think you're going to do from here?
Right now, I don't know, might just go
Get high?
somewhere. No, not get high. Probably just get somewhere where get high, like smoke weed, yeah. But, I don't know. Not something that I need to think about. What am I going to do now? Because right now that's popping up in my head is go get down, get some money, and then it's like, damn, what am I going to do after that? Because then I know I have things to do or somewhere to lay my head at, somewhere I need to get washed up at.
Where are you living? Just motel?
Yeah, pretty much.
Day by day?
Yeah.
Which keeps you on Figueroa Street?
Yeah.
It keeps you up all night?
Yeah.
Which means you need something to help you keep up all night?
Yeah, I'm much like an upper, so that I don't have to go to sleep and wake up and not pay my room, or have the money to pay my room for the next day. So, yeah.
It's a rough lifestyle.
It's a rough lifestyle, and it's I don't know, could look at it both good and bad.
Yeah. You think you're addicted to it?
I feel like I am, just for the simple fact that, like, I don't have nobody trying to get me to cope or deal with things that I haven't really been ready to face or deal with. It's like the adrenaline keeps me distracted, or the rush of getting fast money keeps me distracted. Yeah.
All right, Selena. Well, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
You've been through a lot with your mom and your family and and your pimps and everybody.
Yeah.
I hope you figure a way out.
Me too. I want to be a writer and a life coach, motivational speaker. I like Brené Brown. She does TED Talks, and something that I want to do is, at least if I can't share the depths behind my stories, or of the trauma I faced with certain dates or certain tricks, those are books that I want to write as chapters to girls who either been touched and put in a situation they've had to fight themselves out of, or girls that turn to this and they don't have nobody, not even a pimp, to give them the motivation that they feel they need when they're out there, but that just to let them know that I don't know, I'm gonna figure it out though, because that'll be what I tell them or share with them that will make them feel like, okay, I'm not stuck in this, or I don't have to be in this anymore. And yeah.
It'd be great
Accepting help.
It'd be great if you turned into an example of showing girls how to get out.
Yeah.
But you have to do it for yourself before you can tell everyone else what to do.
Yeah, and that's
Show them
why,
the way.
yeah, that's why I feel is something I'm battling. It's like, what step do I need to take to, you know, walk the walk and talk the talk?
I think you have what it takes. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
That'll take some courage.
Yeah, it's that stuck feeling.
Yeah.
Where I feel always stuck.
Yeah. If you feel stuck,
Like I owe something.
courage is the way out.
Yeah. And prayer.
And prayer. You can say that.
Lately I've been detoxing off them. And that's where I feel like it's most of my comfort is just at least praying. You know, I'm talking to someone, I don't know who, but I'm talking and I'm letting it out.
Good for you.
Yeah.
All right, John. I wish you the best of luck.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
All right. I didn't know you were going to be so interesting. My instincts must be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, your story was incredible.